Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the Beasty Common Room Correspondents on April 26, 2020.
Hello.
I'm Marlene.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Juliana.
I'm Allie.
And we have Tina today, too.
Don't forget, her hot talk is here, too.
Tina's hot dog. Oh, where have I heard this before? Oh, yeah, it's my Instagram little plug.
Oh, my God.
That was smooth.
Very well done.
So today Melanie is live in Hogwarts and Ali too in her common room, so that's fancy.
Yeah, we found a way to make the electronics working here.
Yeah.
You know, I just realized where I am.
Because you don't have beautiful backgrounds like I do.
You know where I am?
And Juliana
is
in the middle of New York with a very good company.
I'm walking here. I just realized I was in New York.
That would also be something Tina would totally say. Hey, I'm standing here. I'm eating my hot dog.
Hey, I'm eating a hot dog here.
Yeah,
now that I fully realize where I am. Oh boy.
So today we will discuss episode 17, of course, who came out on a very interesting date on July 31st. 31st. That's how you say that? Yeah.
Yes.
2016. So it was Harry Potter birthday and J.K. Rowling birthday, and it was called "Don't Be a Guy Trash." And I totally forgot about the guy trash, but yeah. Great.
For some reason, the name of it was always stuck in my mind, but I didn't remember what was that. Was that a magical beast they talked about, or what? In this case, yeah. So today we are starting with the Just a Smidge section, and we are just having some random thoughts about the episode that we wanted to shortly mention. And the first one is All in Red, which is Sophie, so you can start.
Well, the episode, if you have listened to it, is a kind of like a throwback to the old times of SpeakBeasty, because we have Michael, Elena, Ariel on there. And if you remember, or if you have listened to it, we said goodbye to Aaron, who was one of the first hosts, Aaron Schwartz. We deeply miss him because he was always the carrier of the Dougal Award. And Michael shipped in for him. Shipped in for him.
Ooh, that may need to be goaded.
Okay. Yeah. Dip me too.
That may need to be goaded out, Sophie.
No, not again. Yeah, Ariel read his goodbye letter to the tunes of Aragog's Farewell, which is one of the saddest tunes in Harry Potter, and I might or might not have shed a tear. But also, obviously, Michael, Elena, and Ariel now have left the SpeakBeasty. They're still in the common room, but so we beautiful ladies here still have contact with them, but we won't hear them so many times in the next episodes. So yeah, it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Sad episode.
Yeah, it was funny on the common room this week, because when Sophie, you brought out that it was Igor's fault that this letter was made even sadder because of the tune, and he responded that he thought that it would make it less sad because he finds it quite ironic to put this song here. So, but that wasn't the effect on us.
Yeah. And as you girls know, because I am talking about it a lot in our little chat, I am listening to all the songs right now. So Aragog's Farewell is one of my favorites, and it's always running in my mind. I was like, oh, that's so sad. Like 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have known which song that was. I wouldn't have even be like, oh, yeah, it's a Harry Potter song. But now I know.
Yeah, and I thought it was a funny moment in the show when they talked about that that they now know what the creature is named that bites Jacob. And Ariel was so sure about it. It is a bird lap, like a man named Bird and his lap. This was shortly corrected by the others and put right that it is a Mert lap and not a bird.
I mean, that was typical Ariel. Don't you agree?
That was just too funny. And
I love that because they, even if they corrected her, they let her go through her thoughts about the bird lap. So that was really great.
It was great how she just kept explaining it and just like, yeah.
I mean, me being a Ravenclaw, and one of my worst traits as a Ravenclaw is being a know-it-all. And when we do this stuff, I listen to the episodes and I'm like, no, that's not right. But I was just like, oh God, please somebody say it's a Murtlap. And they finally did.
Yeah. And then they had mentioned that Jacob is, or Rowling is calling Jacob, or compares him to Ron Weasley. And I thought that was actually quite interesting. I mean, yeah, he's sort of best friend of the main character, if you want to say so. And he's more of a comedic aspect of the movie. So yeah, I can see it there. But do you think that's enough to compare him to Ron, or?
I feel like he's the closest comparison we have to Ron in this series. I mean, like, if we're gonna like see like who's closest to Ron, I'd say Jacob probably is, but I would nothing. What?
There was an interview. Okay, I have to bring it up again. There was an interview where the interviewer started with a picture of I think it was the Lego games, where you have Harry, Hermione, and Ron, like the trio, right next to each other. And then they showed another picture of the Fantastic Beasts Lego sets, and it was Newt, Tina, and the Niffler. And they were like, so, what do you think of that? And everybody was like, oh, poor Ron, what's happening? And others, I think Ezra and Jude, I think Jude or Catherine said, well, it's kind of like an update. But it wasn't Jacob. So, but honestly, I mean, we have 4 people here. So if they had Jacob there, not Queenie, it would have been like kind of awkward.
Yeah. But it's interesting to compare Ron and Jacob, because it's kind of I mean, if we think about Newt and Jacob and Harry and Ron, it's kind of the opposite, where Harry is introduced to the wizarding world with Ron being the
know-it-all,
the wizard who knows already the word, and here we have Jacob being introduced by the main character Newt to this wizarding world. So
yeah, I think that's not even just the biggest difference, but this is exactly why it's Jacob's favorite character, because through Jacob she can explain the whole situation to us.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last episode.
Exactly.
And then I just had a small point about listening to the episode again. Got to listen to the trailer that they released during Comic-Con, and just listening to the trailer gave me chills. Like, without watching it, just listening to it, I was like, oh my god, I remember how excited I was when this dropped.
Yes,
But-
the
Yeah,
music
I got
makes
the
it.
big. Yeah, the music for this trailer, I think it's the best from. I maybe just for the music, but the visuals are really cool in this trailer too. But the music is really really good, and really unique because you can recognize the feel of the soundtrack that we will have, but it has an original theme that we don't have in
Yeah.
the movie. The da, 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 something like that. And
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is not often used in the interviews, though, that followed in October, November. They kind of always used the teaser trailer. So for me, who grew up on the interviews, for me, the other trailers are like, oh my God, it's happening. This is it again. This trailer is more like to dissect on what we've got and what we didn't get than in the movie. So yeah, it didn't give me really the chills. I was like, you're wrong, trailer.
Yeah. But I think we will talk about that later, but that's in this trailer that we have the most of the scene that we will not have in the final movie. We have two scenes which are not in the movie, so yeah. I hate when the trailer do that.
Yes.
I forgot to write this in the doc, but I have to say there's something about one scene that is coming up. So, okay.
All right. Then, because we are having so many predictions today, because they talked about the trailer, we are jumping right away into Tea and Strudel with Dougal.
Yay!
Does anyone have any snacks with them?
I have something very special to my heart, and I like that it is still in this paper in this bag because I love true crime and I feel like it's an evidence piece.
I didn't even think of that.
Our little Hufflepuff Melanie.
There you go.
Coca-Cola cinnamon, which I wanted since Christmas, and due to very not even ask bucks they want for transporting from America to Europe, Juliana wasn't able to send me one, so Melanie did. And I like it. I really do love it.
Yeah. I just had one. I just had one the other day myself, and it's actually really good.
It is. And if you know me,
don't-
I really do
we don't have
like
it in France
cinnamon
either.
stuff. So yeah, we didn't have.
It's very hard to eat.
What are you eating, Ali? Because it
So-
looks really good.
As you know, I'm in the Hufflepuff common room, so I had some of the house elves put together something from the kitchens. They're like morning bun donut things stuffed with Nutella. So very good.
Not a Nutella fan, but
I think I have to quickly run from the Great Hall to the common room, so I'll be there in a minute.
Right
You have two, so
I do have two. So.
I'm having a hot dog.
Stop
have some
eating a
Madeleine.
hot dog. That's all she has.
What do you have, Marjolaine?
Madeleine.
I
Oh,
have invisible cookies, as you.
Oh,
Because she ate the one she had yesterday. I have a cookie. No, it's gone. That was the whole conversation we had yesterday.
It was so good. No, I'm just having my cold tea here, so yeah.
Cold tea.
Some teas are good in cold.
I like iced tea.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right. So, shall we start?
Yes.
Sure.
Dougal is here too, so we're ready to start.
Yeah.
And our first point is they started the discussion with the special test screening in Chicago of the Fantastic Beasts movie. And to quote here, "More adult magic might be the funniest movie of all the Wizarding World films. So we will have more adult jokes. We know from the more adult jokes we know from the Harry Potter books. Did I write
from
that?
No, I wrote it. Because the Harry Potter books, they had like inner windows that weren't like really into your face, but they deleted all of them in the movies, obviously, because the movies were more directed to kids, and J.K.R. could do whatever she wanted with those books. So we know that J.K.R. has kind of a adult joke brain in her beautiful head. So I thought, why not talk about a little bit about the jokes that we got? And for me, the two that were standing out mostly were, as Queenie, most guys are thinking what you were thinking the first time they see me. So she's still kind of like saying, yeah, you totally thought of being naked. And another one that I always end up being like, nude, is when Tina says, without you, I wouldn't be back in the investigation team now. He says, I can't think of anyone I'd rather have investigating me, which is like, in the script, it's even described as, this was not how he intended to say this. I'm like, yeah, you can tell, because afterwards he's like, oops.
And then I was thinking, like, when I heard that, the funniest of all the movies, I was like, wait, is it really that funny? And then I was like, oh wait, a rumpin' dance. Yes, it is funny.
Yeah. And SpeakBeasty just the other day, I think yesterday or the day before, they had a little snippet of an interview where Eddie was like, it's so easy for JKR to write that, to be like, and now he's doing a mating dance, and then nothing else. It's not to do Eddie, do it. I'm not a fan, Juliana. I liked your previous picture a little bit more.
I know, but
But
I'm
it's
going
tea and
with the
strudel.
I wanted to bring Dougal was lonely.
Oh, look at all the doodles we can have. Mine is far away.
Mine too. I can't even. Akio Dougal. Nope.
Well, you have no wand in your hand, do you?
I just have a picket, which he looks really good in the Hufflepuff common room.
Okay.
That's where he belongs.
I
And he
can
belongs
just
with all the plants.
I can just do the move I did last time.
This time it's more mysterious because it like literally disappears like when it goes off past your shoulder.
What happened?
Magic.
This actually works really good for the dummy guys because his thing is invisibility, so it's like he's not there, and then all of a sudden like okay, God,
Oh, I love it.
okay.
This happened in movie 3.
Did anyone still remember any other moment that was adult jokes?
Probably the next time I'm watching it, I'm like,
All of them.
All of them.
Oh, maybe well, it's not really naughty, but when Abernathy asks Queenie if she is sick again and what's in the case, and she says, "Oh, you can look. It's just lady things."
Yeah, I mean, what are lady things? Are not really sexy. I mean, if she means what I'm thinking, she's meaning that it's not sexy.
Well, I mean, it's a good deterrent for guys, though. I mean, if you have like a box of tampons or pads, they're not going to come anywhere near you.
No.
Oh God.
Does anyone remember back in middle school? I had carried them around, and people like mistook them for like the ho-hos or hostess because they were like in a white wrapper, and they're like, "Oh, can I have one?" I'm like, "You can, but it's not what you think it is."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always had the
I
ones
don't
that
know
had
if
like
I
a
was
weird color on them, or so, like I think they were like the Kotex ones that were.
Yeah, I think they changed all of them to be colors now because of that. I'm convinced, but
Crackpot theory about tampons.
Right.
Ours are in transparent wrappers, so you can totally tell what they are. Well, the main brand is, at least. So
Okay, enough about
yes, you started
female
it.
things. Okay,
Yeah.
next point.
Next point.
Grab it, people. Grab it.
I can.
So-
I have something to say about it.
Yeah.
So
go for
Ariel
it.
thinks there would be a good amount of beasts, but without them stealing the complete show, and that there are enough humans to see too. Who wrote this?
Me. It makes
Okay, I remember
sense.
this part. So yeah, Ariel thought there was going to be a good amount of beasts, but she wanted them to steal the show.
No.
No.
I can't read this.
Sorry. So Ariel thinks there will be a good amount of beasts, but without that they are stealing the complete show, and that there are enough humans to see too. So it won't be only beasts, there will also be humans to be seen, and it will be an equal amount. And then Shannon says that she wants only beasts and no humans.
Yes. I mean,
Same.
Although I like all the humans, but same.
Yeah.
But I think in the first movie, it was a good balance. Like the beast had actually something to do. It was kind of
Yeah.
their story. And I mean, you had Pickett, you had the swooping evil, you had the Thunderbird that were kind of saving the situation. Whereas in the second movie, it felt like, again, like with the four main characters, they kind of didn't really mean anything to the movie. Where you can say Queenie maybe had the most impact on the story, whereas the other three were like just there. And the same
Yeah.
goes for the beasts.
No, I agree with that. I think the second movie definitely is like very character heavy and not. The beasts are just there for like being pretty, and like I would give them like 20% of the storyline maybe, just because
Yeah,
like
I
the
was-
Niffler helps and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Niffler is kind of like the only one that really impacts the story because he steals the blood pack. But you have the Kelpie there, and it doesn't mean anything. Even the Zovu is kind of like there for Newt
It
to be
doesn't-
saved, for
doesn't really
Newt
do much,
to be
though.
saving it. So yeah,
I keep
kind of-
thinking that when we look at the title of the movie, that I was expecting that the beasts would have
yeah,
a much larger role. I mean, they are there, but it's not really about them
Yeah.
so much.
you mean the
That's
first
just
movie or the second?
the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why he's in New York. Yeah, and why he's running around like a
Arizona.
yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, the first movie, I think that in the first movie, the beasts, not necessarily Newt's beast, but also the Obscurious, who is kind of also like a beast. I mean, they kind of make the story, but in the second one,
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
like, nah, you're there because you're kind of like in the title, I guess.
The Obscurus is still
Yeah.
in the center of the plot, but
Yeah.
No, I agree. But at the same time, the old chasing the beast of the first movie, to be honest, is not the most interesting plot line for me. So that's fun, and it brings the characters together. But I'm far more interested about characters storyline than
same.
chasing the beast storyline. So yeah. But I agree with the fact that the beasts are slightly disappearing in a second movie, but that's not my main complaint. So I'm not the Shannon of the show. I
don't want you to
humans.
be anybody on this show because, as I said, everybody else left the podcast. We only have Shannon left here.
Yeah, we need to keep her.
You stay.
So
Okay, the next one was an Owl Post listener who says, she thinks the reason why Newt is wearing his Hufflepuff scarf is because he's broke.
yeah,
I just read this one and I laughed. I was like, and then I was like, actually, maybe valid point. Because, like,
Yeah.
because I remember them having, it might have been this podcast or another Harry Potter podcast where they had a discussion as, like, why do adult wizards still wear their Hogwarts, like, stuff? I mean, like, I don't wear my high school stuff. I barely wear my college things, and that was closer to like, the current time frame now. And
I
it's
mean, we
just-
don't even have stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, it's just like, I don't think, unless I had like one like shirt or something that like really was just like comfortable. Like I have a shirt from when I graduated 5th grade that I still wear.
You have
Maybe.
a shirt that fits you from 5th grade.
Well, they got us adult, well, here's the thing. They got us adult size
okay.
shirts and they got everyone adult medium.
Okay.
Every single kid in the class has an adult medium size shirt. So
Okay.
that's why it still fits me. It's super thin, but it's like my favorite shirt to wear. But besides that, like I can't, unless this is like that for Newt, I can't see why he would really be wearing it. Maybe unless he's broke. I don't know.
I mean, they never really said that he's broke, that he has no money, but we do know that the ministry doesn't pay that much. And I think that maybe with the book release, it's going to change for him, that he's going to earn a little bit more money. And I am thinking maybe he is going to buy a new scarf in future.
I don't know,
Maybe.
because I totally think that he is just kind of like a proud Hufflepuff and he wants to show this. At the same time,
out of school too, though. It seems silly that he would.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away his proudness, his pride to be a Hufflepuff.
I guess.
Why would it take it away? And even I think it even adds to the fact that he is a proud Hufflepuff that he was expelled from school.
I mean, I would probably not wear anything from my old school, but we are not having anything like in the US, for example, where you have this print on your shirts and everything from your high school or whatever. So we don't have that kind of stuff. But
I mean, you can even buy stuff which says like the Ohio University and Harvard and stuff like that. You can buy this here, and none of us ever went to Harvard or the Ohio University.
Yeah, but I would imagine, or at least maybe it's just because I love this story so much. Of course, I would probably wear my Hufflepuff scarf when I went there. I am wearing it right now during winter every year. So.
Yeah. And the colors just go with his outfit. Not that he would care, but it just does.
Yeah, he's very fashionable, isn't he?
Maybe someone special knitted it for him, and it's
That
more
could be.
senimental.
Yeah, maybe Colin Atwood did. You know,
if it's such a good quality scarf, why not keep it?
Yeah.
I mean,
He seems to me, but honestly, he seems to me like a very practical guy. So if that scarf still looks nice, so why not use it? Why would you spend your small coins that you earn on something that is perfectly fine still, and replace that? So
yeah,
he's probably more worried about feeding the beasts with the money he earns.
And again,
now that I'm thinking about that, he is also traveling to America, and we see in his little interaction with Queenie that he's considering Hogwarts to be the best school of the best world of wizardry school in the world. So being a Brit going to America, of course he will wear Hogwarts color.
Can you imagine in that scene when she is like, "Oh, Hogwarts," and then he's standing there with his scarf, being like, "Woo!"
That would be great. Put out his old robes.
I would prefer this over the Harmony song.
I mean, funnily enough, I'm actually wearing Hufflepuff pants right now.
Yeah.
That are in this They are in this sort of college style where you have the number and stuff on there. So, yeah. All right. We have several notes from the listener that wrote in from our post. And the next one is that the listener thinks that Newt uses his extra money to buy himself a new wand in America. And their guess is he purchases it from Johannes Jonker. I am not sure exactly how to pronounce it properly. I have looked this up once before, but I do not remember.
It's a German name. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think he was not German. He was. It was Danish, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. The same.
Yeah. So, and
if it makes you feel better, you could just say Johannes Jonker. Johannes Jonker.
That's how they would have called him in America.
I was gonna say that's what I would have called him.
Johannes Jonker.
Jonker. The Jonker.
I just made an extra note here saying that the reason for the choice is the following, and I quote here from Pottermore: Johannes Jonker, a Muggle-born wizard whose no-match father was an accomplished cabinet maker, turned himself into an accomplished wand maker. His wands were highly sought after and instantly recognizable, as they were usually inlaid with mother of pearl, which we know is what happens with Newt's wand.
Yeah, I mean, if anything of this whole wand that Newt has, it's the end of the Merle of Pearl. No, Mother of Pearl.
Words.
Words somewhere in this room. I have to catch them.
Words.
Don't come easy to me.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I like that they stick with a theory that they made, I don't know how many episodes ago, and they are, it created, like I already said in earlier episode, it created like a headcanon that, of course Newt needs to buy a new wand, and actually no, but that creates
it's nice that they think like that.
Yeah, it's an alternative storyline that we can follow through the episode. That's why I like our discussion, because we discovered this other storyline that never exists.
But you know,
totally. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. They totally threw us off when they released the Pottermore article about the 4 wand makers of America. We kind of assumed we would at least get an information in any of the movies. We don't even know the ones of Queenie and Tina and Serafina, where they come from. So we assumed there would just be a little something in the movie to make sense for this article on Pottermore.
Yeah, but it's the same as what we got for Ilvermorny. It stays a Pottermore thing close to itself and doesn't have any connection to the movie yet. Maybe later, but for now, all the information of Pottermore we got before the movie, except with the exception of the Rappaport law, because it explains what's happening in America. But for the wand makers,
it's not even mentioned. They just talk about the law. They are never saying Rappaport's law.
Yeah, but but the fact that we know that it has an implication of why the Wizarding Society is like that in the movie, but yeah, for the rest, it's just adding to the extended universe that we have with Pottermore. But
and I was thinking it could be, of course, possible that he has been traveling around a lot before already, and who knows, maybe he has purchased it from this wand maker.
But it's the first time in America.
Yeah.
But you don't know if that person wasn't in the UK before.
Maybe.
That's true.
Am I reaching too far?
I don't know. I mean, Eddie said that he got it from Ollivander, and I was like, how do you know that?
Oh, well. Okay. One more comment from the listener. They suggest an idea. Last week's discussion revolved around Serafina being left-handed, and left-handedness is being associated with dark magic. Serafina's wand was made by Violetta Beauvais. Is that right?
No. Almost.
Beauvais. Whose wands were also associated with dark magic. What if we find out in the movies that Serafina is dabbling in dark magic?
I don't like the fact that they're like, oh yeah, left-handedness is totally associated with dark magic, because I do remember my grandma was left-handed and my aunt, the twin sister of my mother, was left-handed, and they both had to relearn to write with the right hand, because it was said that the left hand was a bad side. And I'm like, that is so old kind of thinking.
Yeah.
So medieval.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm left-handed, and
It
was tricky to
Switch.
and it was tricky to learn to write because you have your hand on the thing that you are writing.
Yeah.
So I spontaneously try, when I learn to write, I spontaneously write on the other way, from right to left. And I know that because I still have this first attempt to write, and I have my name but written in the other way. And yeah, and my dad is left-handed, and he had to, like your grandma and aunt, he was forced to learn with the right hand, and he has a terrible writing, and it's really almost unreadable. And but it makes sense.
I mean, I have to say that my grandma really had a spot on, really good handwriting with white, but you couldn't read it. Like, it looked really nice, but you could not read it. But also, she also learned old German writing, so there was a lot of influence in there. But you could not. There was just no way. Every time she get me,
Infreds?
Huh?
What was there a lot of there in the old German writing? Did you say infreds?
An old influence.
Oh, influence. I was like, what the heck is an infrared? There's infreds in life.
You can only
Infrared.
view it
It's
under
infrared.
infrared.
Yeah, like infrared lights. Woo!
Yes.
Those German people really are crazy.
But
She
being
said from
left-handed is not.
America.
It's not easy to be
Yeah.
left-handed. I must say that we are living in a right-handed world, and that's not.
That's true.
We have a lot of small details that, like I always struggle with scissors because they are not in the right. The
left.
blades are not. Yeah. And a lot of things, but yeah, I like to be left-handed. It makes us a bit special.
I just like the small comment here of Sophie still in the dock, where she says Serafina is just drunk.
I mean,
She's not evil, she's just drunk.
Yeah, and
About the same.
if we know now that she's terrible, but that's not because she's left-handed.
thank God. I would be so. I would not.
There's
break
3
this.
more movies, people. Oh, you can see only.
What is the world?
There's 3. I swear I show 3.
Yeah. Of course.
3 more
Three.
movies. So
3.
we can figure it out. There.
There you go.
3.
Damn it, visibility fog again. Okay.
Yeah, but they spend again a lot of time talking about Serafina and how great she will be and how awesome they are expecting her to be. And
that episode.
Okay. Next point, please.
Well, Ariel then said that she wants Serafina to be complete opposite of Fudge, and she wants her to be smart and in charge, which is not happening because she's drunk.
And Colleen still adds, we need to see a government that is working. Maybe they are not doing it right and butt heads with Newt, but they're actually trying to do the right thing.
Yes and no.
Yeah, to me sounds more like Tina, because she is the one who butts heads with Newt in the beginning because he's doing something wrong, and while the Makusa is not really paying attention in the beginning. Later they are like, you bad guy, blah blah stuff.
Yeah, no, they are not really helpful. They have Graves, who is Grindelwald in it, so that's not helping. And Serafina is, well, but the whole government of America, we already knew that the laws of the Wizarding World in America were questionable. So if the government is trying to make this law respected, they have to be questionable too. So
yeah. We had another comment here from Colleen also that we jumped over. There won't be any visiting dabbling in dark magic because we already got that in Harry Potter. But she thinks that there are second Salemers who are the bad guys, and that Graves is going to be the wizard saying, let's fight back, and will be the sort of wizard bad guy, but he's not really the bad guy. She says that Serafina is just going to be lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Can we just say epic fail prediction?
Yeah.
Sorry, Colleen.
You were right there.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Ruined it.
I do remember exactly what she said. She was like, he's not really the bad guy. Like, oh, he's the bad guy per se. Like, he's the bad guy. And also,
there are some good points here that she's making, but at the same time, it's also a bit, questionable.
Yeah.
So
and also, Serafina is not lovely. I mean, she is drunk.
But that makes me remember that I think we all expected the second Salemers to be a bigger protagonist that they are in the end.
Antagonist.
The antagonist, protagonist,
I didn't even
the bad.
realize. I'm like,
They're also not a protagonist trait. But they are not. They are. I mean, Mary-Lou is definitely a bad on the bad side, but she's not the bad characters of the the franchise. So she's dead. No, so well,
who cares?
No point.
Mary, who am I, right?
So leaning on to the comment here about the government, that they are hoping we are getting a one that is working. If someone wants to take the next one from Ariel, I highlighted it here. So
go ahead.
I wrote butt in there, so butt heads.
Yeah, but that's the word. You can't change it. That's the word they used.
Okay.
They will heads with Newt cause something tells her that it's probably kind of illegal for him to bring so many beasts into the country in a flimsy suitcase. So, Ariel.
Yes. Very flimsy.
The lock even, wouldn't stay
Gotta
shut.
fix that. Okay, the next.
The next one is Colleen again, and she said that the only thing we know about Credence's character is that he has a secret. And to her, that screamed that he's a wizard. And and Ariel adds this will be a good plot line in the movie, since they talk about the strain between wizards and no-mages and the fight against the second Salamers. So, that's not bad, but I still, I mean, we all, Credence has a secret and it's about magic and he's kind of a wizard. But yeah, what's happening, Sophie?
She just like, I'm done with this.
She's like, no.
I have secrets too, not just Credence.
I thought it was an impression of the Obscurus, but
here I am.
I was going to say half a point at least, because she kind of pointed the fact out that Credence was a wizard-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he does have a secret, so...
Yeah. Valid point.
It's true.
So maybe 3/4? 9 3/4?
Yeah. But again, the main plot line is not really the fight between the wizard and the second Salamers. Because the second Salamers are not that menacing for the wizard.
Yeah. Let's move on without Sophie for a moment.
I'm just going to turn my heat on. I forgot that I didn't turn the heat on in here. It's cold. Give me 3 seconds.
And then without Juliana, don't forget Dougals. There are 2 Dougals. Okay. Beginning of the trailer, discussion was the beast underground could be. Michael says the Thunderbird, but why would it be in the ground? And Ariel says, I think it was that snake-like creature that they shrouded in mystery, the Occamy. Yeah.
Nope.
All great ideas, but no.
Yeah.
Her reasoning here for the Occamy was that we didn't get a good look in the trailer, and like with all the other beasts, so they pointed it out that it was just barely visible, and that they would probably not show much of the main beast that maybe causes the trouble. So
that's true. Yeah. But I don't remember if it was brought up later, but maybe it's Michael, somebody else who talked about the Obscurus. So, but maybe not regarding this scene, but I think they talked
there
about...
was something later still. Yeah.
Okay.
So that might be it.
Yeah.
Okay.
About the... I know it's later. Sorry. I'm not prepared for this episode.
We couldn't tell.
Just go along. So Tina knocking on the door. Michael says, discussing the woman tapestry on the brick wall, saying this might be the first part of getting into the speakeasy. Yep, right on.
Yep.
Moving on to the next point.
Nothing what to say.
So, next one from Michael, please.
Michael again says, it's really interesting that the beasts are so far pretty strictly conforming to their appearance from the book compared to the beasts shown in the Harry Potter movies.
Okay.
Oh my. Did Michael say that too?
Maybe.
I'm taking the Dougal Award away.
And I didn't want to be nitpicky about it, but the Occamy, for example, was supposed to have legs. We discussed this last episode. And I
there are a few problems.
Yeah, I keep wondering if the babies might not have any yet. Like I compare it to a frog, basically, who is just a tiny little thing swimming and then developing only after a while the legs and then jumps out. So I don't know if we would have had a note of that in the book. So I think they just like left the legs away for whatever reason with the tiny wings that they can't use either. So it makes somehow the Okami doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but the Okami, I mean, the biggest problem for me in the book is that they're not chronoptyxic. He doesn't say anything about it. He does talk about their length, but he doesn't say they're chronoptyxic, which is weird because he mentions it in the movies, so he knows about it, obviously.
Yeah. What does chronotexic mean?
That it's where they shrink to the size
and grow bigger. Chronoptyxic.
I still think that it was a created word for this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there is another example of that in nature.
Water.
I am pretty sure that Ellie said that she
water can feel
this word.
It can't feel, but it does reshape itself. So I mean, it's close.
I don't think that's the same.
No, I think Eddie once said that J.K. actually came up with the word and that he is the only one who can say it because everybody else was like, no, I cannot say it.
Yeah.
I am proud of myself that I got it right now because I was like,
I'm really impressed.
Where all the other simple words fail you today.
Words. Right. What are they?
Fantastic words, and where to find them?
Not there.
Okay, I have to rush you girls a little bit because we are starting to be coming close to 1 hour.
The next point is one of my favorites because they talk about this one little scene they have where Tina says, Mr. Scamander has lost something, I'm going to help him find. To which Michael says if Newt is doing something weird because her voice changes and Queenie looks rattled. And I have to say it's one of my favorite Tina lines because she goes from, Mr. Scamander has lost something, I'm going to help him find. And just the way she goes from totally being angry to being so lovely and cute. And for me, it's just the way her character really works. It's like being annoyed and then being like, but I kind of still want to help. So shows how great her heart is. And I'm also kind of sad because they didn't show it in the movie as they showed in the trailer. Because you kind of you only see her face and Queenie's, so you don't know what Newt is doing. But in the film, you see that Newt is just standing there and looking at her. So, boo to that, because Catherine really looks cute in that scene. But oh well,
but,
I have to live with the trailer.
Newt wasn't talking to the owl poster.
Yeah. Which was something I was like, oh, that would have been kind of weird, but Newt. If I can use the word Newt as an adjective, that would have been very Newt.
So next, Michael wonders if the goblins in the speakeasy are in fact Pukwudgies because they are native of America. He also adds that these are motion capture, which hasn't been done before in the Potter movies. Melanie, you noticed something that I was quite shocked by.
I'm someone who doesn't really watch trailers usually for something I'm looking forward to because I don't want to be spoiled too much. So I haven't seen the trailers all together that often, and when I was rewatching it now, I noticed that something is strange about the singer because what's different? And then I checked, oh right, she's actually bald in the final cut of the movie, and in the trailer she has hair, and they're even talking in the episode about, as we said here, about the goblins, and they talk about her having hair and discussing, is she a goblin, is she a house elf, and noticing that in the final cut she's actually bald. I think that maybe they took it away just to make her general appearance more goblin-like, because we associate them kind of baldish, you know, and yeah, I think that might be one of the reasons they have done this, to make her look more like a goblin.
Yeah, which is to me another clue that Warner Brothers actually listens to SpeakBeasty, because they were talking about the hair, and they were like, "Oh, she could be a human goblin like Flitwick was," and they were like, Warner Brothers was like, "Oh no, that's not the case. So just get rid of the hair." But I do remember, but at the moment I wrote this, I was like, "But the goblins in Gringotts do have hair. It's not like they're bald. They all do have hair."
The only thing is we see only old goblins in the bank, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it.
And male goblins too.
Yes,
I don't think
say
we
male
meet any female
Yeah.
goblins.
Yeah.
But do we know that she's a goblin and not a house elf?
Because I mean, for me, she also, because she's bald, she also looks to me like a house elf more than a.
I think she looks more like a house elf, personally.
Me too.
That's just
Maybe
me.
she is both. Maybe she's a goblin house elf mix.
Maybe her uncle was it.
Yeah.
Maybe her uncle was a house elf.
I was waiting for that.
Oh God! Just like Gregory Goyle is half a goblin, half a house elf. That was weird. That was something weird happened this week.
That's definitely canon.
Yes. Okay. The next point was something they talked about, but I can't remember who said it. Did Newt play Quidditch in his Hogwarts years because he's putting on the things on Jacob? Discuss.
No.
He doesn't really strike me as a Quidditch player somehow. I think he has always been not that great social. He didn't have so many great social skills, which you probably would build up in playing a team sport.
Yeah.
And he was more into his beasts, as we can see in the second movie. He was already having his secret corner where he has all his little creatures and takes care of them. So,
I actually don't think so, but at the same time, I'm like, he's a keeper. But I mean, he says I'm more of a chaser, really. So that was kind of like a little joke from JKR that came into it. And then they talked about why only Jacob gets a helmet and a gear, and I'm like, because Newt cares for other people. He doesn't really care about his own safety. So why are they like so mean about it? They're like, not them. CinemaSins was like, when he says, because your skull is receptive to breakage or something, and they're like, and yours not? And I'm like, no, he's just caring for Jacob.
I also feel like, of course you would give it to the one that has no clue about the beasts, and you know, he handles them daily and really
Also,
giant, dangerous creatures. So
And who has no
funnier in this than Newt.
and who has no magic to protect himself.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes.
So,
He can't just apparate out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some more comments from that you added, Sophie, if you want to take them.
Elena, they're talking about the scene when the Thunderbird comes out of the ground, which is obviously not finished in CGI, so they had something to say about that. The first thing Elena said is, I didn't even know we would see a Thunderbird, to which I have to say we even see two, because Tina has one too. And Ariel said, I didn't think of this beast, and Michael ends the sentence with albino, because we really see him as a white figure more than anything else. And they change it, obviously, in the end of the film. We see the golden feathers and stuff. To which I have to say that even though I really like Frank, I think he is the worst when it comes to the CGI beasts. Especially in his close-ups. The scene where he comes out of the ground looks really great and stuff. But when you see him in close-ups, I think that they could have done a better job. But also maybe we are so used to buckwheat, as you can compare these two a little bit, because they're both like, I don't know, birds, big birds. So yeah, that was what I had to say about that.
Does
Thank
seem
you
like
for
they
listening. Goodbye.
I was gonna say, it does seem like they put off the Thunderbird compared to all of the other beasts. Like, if it wasn't, the CGI wasn't even completed by the time that they had the trailer, but yet they had like the goblin / house elf. We haven't decided.
I mean, yeah, she even has hair.
Yeah,
and you know how
yeah, she even had hair.
Yeah, maybe they would have needed more time to complete him, and maybe they were rushed towards the end, and that's just what we got.
I mean, there's nothing wrong about showing a beast that isn't ready in a trailer. It would have been worse if we had seen the same image of Frank coming out of the ground as we seen it in the trailer, because that would have just been weird.
Yes. So the next point I think is really interesting. If someone of you wants to take it.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
Shannon talked about the scene of Tina standing in the middle of the black mass with the case in her hand, and then Michael commented and said she is standing in the case to keep out of the black mass.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the trailer, it kind of looks like it. I get where they come from. It is, of course, the chair that she's standing on, but from the angle and the view that you have of this scene, yeah, I thought that was quite funny that they thought she's standing inside the case on top of the black mess. Sorry, mess. You can also say mess. Black mess.
Moss.
Death mess.
Yeah. And Shannon still says, could the black mass have something to do with the alchemy? And Michael adds, I was wondering if the black mass hasn't something to do with that giant, ridiculous shadow of death.
Nope.
I don't know why alchemy. Did she think it pooped there, or
no? What I
don't know.
I think is that she mixed up the alchemy and the swooping evil, because there is a moment you see the swooping evil. And what I get, because I sometimes also call this swooping evil the alchemy, because they're kind of like the colors are the same and stuff that don't really look like, but I think that is what happened here.
Okay.
And I just want to add, because Eddie would love to hear that, and I know he's watching, so can we give the swooping evil a little bit of love here, because he really saves the day.
Yeah, he does.
Yay, swooping evil.
I feel like he's gonna come back in future films too. Like, he's gonna play a big part, I feel like.
Yeah, and he needs a own name. He can't just be called the swooping evil.
It's true, he doesn't have a name.
Let's name him Hans.
Yes. Hans. Sorry, I'm battling with Myrtle right now. She's trying to... Ow! And she keeps shocking me through my headphones because of the static.
Swooping evil, that's me!
Myrtle?
She's eating more Legos?
No, not today. I have that closed off.
Good.
So, I just have her doing... Oh, no, you can't see it because she was there. Oh, well.
Yeah. That is pretty.
She's up on my... she has her paws up on my hip, and she's standing on my hip. So...
Oh, that's nice.
I have a fanny pack dog right now. So, sorry about that. That's what I've been doing. That's just what's been happening. It is what it is. Oh well.
Can you see how Melanie is also again losing her mind? She's like, oh God.
We have to
just
move on.
Sorry.
Okay. So Shannon says a car is flying over someone, and this is just such a cute, tiny little moment. But I have to say, the car is flying over Tina, and that's because Grindelwald can't get rid of her any other way, and that's how my powerful girl is.
Any Tina moment is a good moment. I knew you would agree. Everyone was talking about the demiguise is dragging someone along with him, and they're asking, is that Newt another creature? Looks like a shoe. I bet it's Newt's shoe.
Looks like a shoe. Maybe it's
Yeah.
a shoeman. No, that's actually a
was-
deleted scene of Jacob and Queenie.
Yeah, I was about to
Which
say
is
that.
adorable.
So what was
I
that
was
deleted scene?
confused.
Because I haven't seen it.
Well, Jacob is tracked by the Occamy. He's trying to, not the Occamy, by Dougal, and
Yes.
he's trying to capture him, and then he does. I think no, he doesn't. He doesn't. But he ends up in a pile of presents, and then he loses his.
Mhm.
He has a head on his face, and Queenie is like, "Oh, Jacob," and thinks something, and Jacob says, "Oh, I wish I could read minds," and Queenie says, "No, you don't. You don't." And it's just like, oh, why did they delete this? It's beautiful.
So that's 3 scenes that are in the trailer that are cut scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which was the one I wanted to talk about? That wasn't it. Oh, I get. Oh, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember. We don't talk about this scene. But it's just the one where Newt says, don't worry, everything is
Yeah.
fine, blah, blah, blah. I do
Nothing to
remember
worry
there was,
about.
there was an interview, which is one of my favorite interviews. It's really cute, where Eddie is asked about if this scene was extra shot for the trailer because it's not in the movie, and which sometimes happens, apparently. I didn't know that. But Eddie says, no, it was just the moment, didn't really fit in the high stakes of the movie in that time, so they deleted it. I think it would have been funny enough. I don't know. I would have been like, nah. No.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I love people.
Yeah, so next they are talking about the giant black beast that we see on the trailer, and Colin's wondering if it could be something totally new that they made up that is terrifying, that is a terrifying shadowy creature. And Shannon again, the Oculus, and Elena, the Obscurus.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Ding, 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 Elena wins. Woo, Elena.
10 points to Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Hey, all the Hufflepuffs are winning here. Shannon doesn't have anything right. I don't know Pauline's house, but I'm pretty sure Michael's also Hufflepuff.
I think he.
Michael
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
He is, yeah.
And I think Colleen
Yeah.
is a Ravenclaw, if I remember correctly.
Sounds about right.
So
I know
yeah, I was not aware that, or I completely forgot that they were so aware already of
Yeah.
that this could be the Obscurus, because a couple of episodes ago when they had the interview, they just dropped the word, the name, and they didn't really make anything much out of it except that it is a beast that might pop up somewhere, one of a thousand that we might see. And yeah, so they were closer to what's actually happening than they were.
Because I don't obviously I don't remember that time because I wasn't there. But if they are talking about something that may have been said by the cast in the on the San Francisco Comic Con, they didn't ever say something about the Obscurus. I mean, Ezra was still like, "No, I'm not in the movie." And
No, that was it was set by what was his name?
by this guy who was kind of like 3 times in the movie, and we don't know who he is. But but I mean, he mentions it once. I don't know if they came only from that.
I think so, because it matches with the theory that was right, that the main beast of the movie would be something that they keep hidden. So they thought first about the alchemy, but at the end of the episode they are reminded with this black mass that maybe the Obscurus, and we actually see the exact scene that the guy that I forgot the name talked about, the scene in New York with he is one of the policemen that we see in the scene. I think that's what he's saying. Or I'm sure that he's in the scene, and that's this scene that he's talking about. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to remember his name, but I can't. There's nothing going.
No, I don't remember either.
I want to say Frank, but that's not Frank.
Michael is wondering if this beast has been in Newt's case, or if it was just attracted by all the other activity. He feels like it is the main big beast, and most of the other characters don't even know what it is. He also says, maybe this beast is being used by somebody else, and they found Newt's mishap, and then they are using him as a scapegoat.
Ooh.
So one big round of applause.
Woo, Michael!
That's a good one.
just to quote Tina here, we need to catch all your creatures so Grace can keep using them as a scapegoat. I mean, it's like Michael wrote the script.
Yeah, that is really spot on. So
that was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the confirmation that Aaron is gone, but Michael is now in the game to win the Dougal Award.
Now 2020, who's left? Even Igor left the podcast.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years and lots of changes.
These boys are unrelatable. They all run away. Boys.
Men. Okay, we have reached the end of it.
Yay, well done.
So good.
And now
Mitchell.
Joke.
Mitchell.
Mitchell
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Just as we finished. Sorry.
Okay, now that we know that name again, we can move on to Joke of the Week with Juliana.
Yay! It's time for Juliana's Joke of the Week, and headed down to the bottom of the... Oh, I went too far down into the dock. I was like, okay.
Oh, it's there. I know.
I'm like... I can't even read.
I wanted to make sure. Okay, good. I
No one looks at the dog now.
No,
I look away.
I look away.
You see here, put a minute.
I just need to look and see what my punchline is real quick. Hold on.
I put the Skype window on the dock, so I'm fine.
I'm literally, instead of me putting out the phone, I'm doing this because I'm that intelligent.
Oh, I didn't even write I didn't write the answer, but I remember what it is. Okay, ready? Did you guys hear about the magical gorilla taking ceramics class at Hogwarts? They said he was a Harry Potter.
Hello.
Get it? A Harry. A Harry Potter. He does pottery, and he's hairy.
Yeah, we get a joke. You don't have to explain it. That doesn't make it any better. First rule in making a joke is don't explain the joke.
Sometimes it's necessary if you have an audience that doesn't get it.
Yes, this one we really got. It's not like last week where she said, ich kennt mich. So that we
Up
didn't
his
get it.
sleevey.
Up your sleevey. It's
Oh
on me.
my
It's up your
goodness.
sleevey.
Yeah, what? What's your sleeve?
Up your sleeve.
I was like shouting at you in German, even though you couldn't hear me. But I was like, sterbe!
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Since Ellie has proven to be the perfect reader of the contacts, she's now promoted to our official contact reader.
Yay! It does not come
Go
with a pay raise.
Dang it.
No one is being paid, just
No.
for the record.
That would be just too great.
I was just say, wait a minute.
You're paid with laughter and genius jokes.
We pay in love.
Well, you can listen to SpeakBeasty on all of the podcasts places where podcasts are found. And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at SpeakBeasty, Facebook at facebook.com/SpeakBeasty, Tumblr, speakbeastypodcast.tumblr.com, and you can email us at speakbeasty@gmail.com. And of course, you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/SpeakBeasty. And if you become a member of our awesome common room, you can chat with all of us and join in for our interesting discussions and picking topics for the show, and maybe even get to guest host on an episode of SpeakBeasty.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Woo!
Okay.
I think I'm Melanie.
I will be Allie.
I'm still Sophie.
I'll continue to be Juliana, I think, for now.
And I'm always Marjolaine.
Case
Closed.
closed. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.